All right, I'm gonna go with what I would describe as the most common cause of gas and bloating, and it's going to surprise and shock a lot of people because it's not actually, from my perspective, it's not food that is the most common cause of gas and bloating. It's your bowel motility, specifically constipation. In my experience as a gastroenterologist, literally, I would argue, almost 100% of people who have constipation have gas and bloating. And there are a bazillion people out there who are like literally listening to us right now who they don't think that they're constipated, but they actually are, and that's the reason why they're having gas and bloating. And if they could just fix their bowel motility and get their gut into a rhythm, the gas and bloating would go away.
After today's video, I put a discount link for Sunday's dog food. Now, Sunday's is a human-grade pet food. This is cool. I've got 3 dogs. At one point I had 4. So we're big dog people, and I know that a lot of people that watch this channel care about their dogs, sometimes even more than they care about themselves. So when you have a human-grade dog food, that means that you could literally eat it yourself. That's how high the quality is. So I popped that link down below. It was started by a veterinarian, really interesting stuff where she was really interested in just changing how we treated our dogs. Like, why do we give our dogs secondhand food? Like, they're part of our family this day and age. Why don't we treat them how we want to be treated? So we're talking really good quality ingredients. If you look at the label, it's like all really good stuff. We've got the meat, you've got the sweet potato, straight up real food. So anyway, that link down below will save you a few bucks. Highly recommend that you check them out.
I saw you post something a while back that I thought was very interesting, and that was, I think you said, you can have 1 bowel movement per day and still be constipated.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you could also have diarrhea and still be constipated. And I think it's worth us unpacking that because...
no pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. because the thing is that, like, delivering value to these people is helping them to understand their own body and the way that they feel. So they're trying to understand why they have gas and bloating. And the thing about it is you could poop every day, but the question is, are you completely evacuating? And there are many people that they strain, they struggle, they're pushing on the toilet. It's like literally effort-based to have a bowel movement. Or they go and they don't feel like they actually emptied. Or sometimes they go once and then it's like 30 minutes later, they're like, oh gosh, I gotta poop again. Like, I didn't finish the first time. These to me are all signs that, like, you're not actually emptying the way that you're supposed to. And when we go to have a bowel movement, if you are a once a day pooper, then that once a day, like, it has to be a complete evacuation and get everything out. If hypothetically you move 70% of it out, but you trap 30%, and this is the pattern that you have day by day, then it doesn't take very long for you to start backing up to a place where this is really messing with your body. And when a person is constipated, the most common symptom is going to be gas and bloating. So as you start to back up, you're going to experience this gas and bloating, and you may not have any other symptoms of constipation, and you may not even think that you're constipated. But the point is, if you're not completely evacuating, then we need to get the bowels moving and get that coming out. And when you actually mobilize that stool, these people, they feel better. Like, this is the way that I actually measure response to therapy in a person who's constipated, is what's going on with your gas and bloating. Like, that's what I would literally ask them in the clinic.
Wow. Okay, so we'll probably do some other content surrounding, how to improve that specifically, because I'm sure that's a very wide range. But I mean, can you just give a couple quick things without having to go into super exquisite detail? Maybe some low-hanging fruit for people that are constipated or don't know they're constipated but are.
Yeah, totally. So I have an online course that, like, for people who want to take a deep dive into this topic, because obviously we're just touching the surface here. So if you want to do a 2.5-hour deep dive into constipation, understand all of the nuance to this, then check out my online course that I have. But where do I start? So in the majority of patients, where I will start with them is a combination of a fiber supplement and simultaneously magnesium, oral magnesium. Now, you of course have to check this with your doctor. Don't just like watch a YouTube video and then start doing this. Like, make sure that this is okay for you specifically. But the thing about the magnesium is that it actually works to draw water into the intestines. And so that helps to sort of lubricate the bowels and sort of floating the log down the river, right? So that's what the magnesium helps us to accomplish. There's a couple specific types of magnesium that you want to use because, by the way, not all magnesium is created the same. So there's certain types, like we hear about how magnesium is great for sleep or magnesium is good for your mood. And that's, referring to the types that are like magnesium glycinate, which is rapidly absorbed. So it doesn't really stay inside your intestines long enough to sort of pull the water in. So the types that I recommend in terms of magnesium are magnesium sulfate, magnesium oxide, or magnesium citrate. And depending on how you're approaching this, and by the way, again, like we could talk for like literally at least 10 more minutes just on magnesium alone. Depending on how you're approaching this, if you're doing this as a daily dose, just to sort of gently nudge things along, then what you would do is typically start with 500 milligrams of magnesium. That's your starting dose. Classically, I ask people to take it before bedtime because it may help you sleep as well and helps you get that good bowel movement when you wake up in the morning. If you do 500 milligrams for a couple of days, 4 days, or a week, you don't notice a difference, then you bump it up and you go up to 750 or you go up to 1,000. Now, one of the important things about magnesium is that we have the ability to test your magnesium levels. So we don't need to guess, we don't need to assume. We can actually check before and we can check once you get on a stable dose and know that you're where you're supposed to be. The vast majority of people, in my experience, I'm sure you've seen this too, the vast majority of people, you check their magnesium when they're not on a magnesium supplement, and in the United States, no matter what diet you're consuming, even a plant-based diet, these people tend to be low in magnesium. Most people are low in magnesium in the United States. So what we're doing in a way is just adding back what their body actually needs. And then when they get on a stable dose that could be 750 or 1,000 milligrams of magnesium, actually when you double check it, what you find is that their magnesium is right where it's supposed to be. And by the way, the same is true for fiber. The beauty of fiber helps to accelerate our bowel motility. It also creates changes within the microbiome. And these microbes, it's more than just having healthy microbes. The healthy microbes are helping to stimulate bowel motility. So it's sort of this compounded effect of, yes, fiber is moving your motility along, but it's also supporting the microbes that we need to move our motility along. And this is why we want to add more fiber in addition to the magnesium.
So what do you say to the people that are watching this that are say, oh, this guy's, full of it. If I have fiber, I bloat. Like fiber absolutely destroys me. Every time I have fiber, it just bloats me more. Because I know there's going to be people that say that. I know some of the answer to this, but I want to hear it from the man himself.
Yeah, well, you're saying that I'm full of it, but I'm saying that you're full of it. So, because the chances are there's a very real possibility that you're constipated. And if you take that person who has constipation and they have these types of intolerances with fiber, then if you get their bowels moving and you clear out their colon, they're not going to have that issue anymore. So if a person is constipated, step one is to fix the constipation. That being said, with fiber, we already talked about having damaged gut or dysbiosis. These are the people that struggle to consume or add fiber to their diet. They're also the people who need fiber the most because fiber is what they need actually to heal their gut and to make their gut stronger. So avoiding fiber is not a winning strategy in the long term, even if it makes you feel a little bit better for today. So we need to start really low on the fiber and gently ease our way into it. And by doing this, it's conceptually similar to exercise. No matter where, like when you step into the gym, a good trainer will meet you where you are, understand what your capabilities are, and match the exercise to your capabilities. We need to match the diet to your capabilities in terms of digesting fiber. Your gut is like a muscle. It can be trained, it can be made stronger.
That's very good input.